Hey everybody, Josh rving here to Bish's RV down here at Keystone today with a fifth wheel that gives us a living room super slide, a true queen bed, and just under 29-foot tip to tail length, and a model number 24SRE that sounds like Mario was apologizing halfway through it, because if you say it in his voice, it's a 24SRE. Don't cancel me. Anyway, moving on from there, this is an almost identical clone to the Keystone Cougar 2400RE. So keep in mind, at some of our stores we have Cougar, some of our stores we have Arcadia. That will give you double the chances of bumping into one of these if you are interested. And you know, even if you're not shopping with Bish's RV, one of the things that I want to do is, by the time you're done with this video, I just want to leave you better positioned and more educated to potentially shop and buy an RV, so that you know someone can't pull the wool over your eyes and say, no, this one's better than the Cougar one. They're really the same. They have a different shaped nose cap and different graphics. Other than that, man, they're the same kind of camper. We have single air standard, optional second air, 3,000-pound towing hitch package on the back, which is a surprisingly nice feature for what they are targeting to be a more basic series fifth wheel. We also have things like a better shock dampening pin box on this that usually your more budget fifth wheels don't have, so it doesn't rattle trap you all the way over and around inside the RV or inside your truck while you're towing. And also with no slides on the campsite, it's very park friendly. But there's parts of this RV, mostly because they squished it down under 30 feet, things start to overlap in funny ways. Like they had this rear wall and they had to do something with it, so they gave it like a little flip up mini desk, but it kind of gets in the way of the theater seat. It kind of gets in the way of the entertainment center. But if it wasn't there, you'd criticize them for wasting the space. So it's just one of these tricky things that happens when you're in smaller rigs. I can't remember. I don't think the traveling access to the kitchen is fantastic, but we're going to close the slides and show you road mode later. And if you like how he shoots straight, tell you the good with the bad, and just plain English, hit that subscribe button. Let's go. And I'd be kind of curious, what do you think about the just general look and decor in here? Because until recently, Arcadia had a brown on brown on brown HOA approved decor. And they recently adopted this kind of overall, white cabinetry situation, but with a sort of, what do we call this? Executive slate colored furniture setup and some accent cabinetry here and there. It feels a lot more fresh and modern to me, but some people just really like the traditional brown. This is less of a knee knocker dinette than like a set of pedestal posts. That's what's called a dream dinette. There's a gas strut that makes that very easy to put up and down into or out of a sleeper. When you're in the Select series, you do have the pleated night shades. Some of the other Arcadias have some more enhanced window treatments, and that is a dual theater reclining love seat with heat massage and USB plugs on both sides. But the USB plugs are located not in the thigh buster position. I'm actually pretty happy with that. The entertainment center is already on a pretty good angle. So like if you're sitting at the sofa, you're already essentially directly facing at that sucker. And it's not a big rig, so nothing's really far away here. You got the electric Tussie toaster. Tussie. Yep. You got one of them down below. Wow. This still has an AM, FM, CD, DVD stereo head unit. A lot of RVs have gone away from that. But then, on the rear wall, they had this pocket of space. And they said, well, we got to do something with it. If we leave this empty, people are going to yell at us. So they created a potential function space here, where this has the kind of folding mini desk, utility shelf kind of space. I'm not saying this is like, I don't think you're going to get on the road and work from this all day, full time, every day. But like, if work calls, they're like, oh, dude, we need you to come in and get a cover on those TPS reports. If your name's Peter and you're from the movie Office Space, you could flip open a laptop, plug it in like Glade plugins, and do a quick thing, and then get it back out of the way. Or what if, I don't know, you have a grandkid over for the weekend and you just got to occupy the little busybody for a little while and slap a coloring book down over there and tell them to go to town, which would be potentially useful if the dinette was already occupied. Because obviously they could do a coloring book at the dinette, but maybe you're using the dinette for prep space, because when we flip around to the kitchen in a minute, you're going to see that the kitchen doesn't have a ton of necessarily available prep space. Now, the thing is, this entertainment center is one of those hidden swing open entertainment centers. So if that table's open, you can't get to your mega pantry located back there. I'm going to circle back to that in a minute and show you that in just a second. In the meantime, I want to look around. One of the things that I do like about the decor, for a long time, there was this aged farmhouse look in the RV industry where it had like literally people took Sharpie markers and drew lines in here, or they had like this dark burnishing that made the cabinetry kind of look dirty when it was brand new. This doesn't have that. This just generally has a pretty clean, pretty solid look about it. One thing it doesn't have is floor ducted heating down here. You can see how you've got some heat ducts coming out into the living cavity directly below the sink and oven. So if you're standing there doing dishes, you're going to enjoy some nice warm feet. So my wife doesn't watch my videos because she has to deal with listening to my stupid voice all day, every day. One of the things she doesn't know, and this is a life hack, guys, I get cold feet very easily. And sometimes I will do the dishes and earn some brownie points just because there's a heat vent in front of the sink. So I get to stand there, earn some brownie points, and warm up my feet. 2 for 1, baby. Now, diving into deeper details, I'm not impressed with the sizing of the dinette cushions. There's nothing actually wrong with the dinette. There's storage below the benches. We don't have drawers or doors, but there is storage below the benches. But the cushions are all like a 1/2 inch, slightly too big from the supplier. So they don't exactly want to lay flat, which is annoying. You know what I mean? The thing is, that's actually a really common problem in the industry that very few people are aware of, because one of the things that I've learned is I seem to be one of the few people that consistently manipulates dinettes into sleepers. A lot of the stuff is just kind of, it's put together in theory. They set the dinette up for seating mode and they go, oh, look, if it fits, you sits. And then that's it. So a lot of manufacturers aren't even aware of the fact that they're all, well, okay, so they're not aware of the fact that their dinettes are in, don't sleep very well. But secondly, that's a rough spot for the converter. Here's what I mean. So I like the fact that it's hidden behind a couple doors, that it's easy to get to during the day. But what I always look at is, let's say, hypothetically, your super slide over here is closed. It's going to cover that converter, which is behind doors, to make it even harder to get to when the slide is closed. And if you go to hit the slide button and it pops the fuse, which I've had happen. I have it happen a couple times a year on different RVs. You're kind of SOL over here. You're up that creek without the paddle. You can manually override this slide. It sucks. And that converter, I don't know where else it could be located, but in its current location, just pray you don't pop a fuse, guys. It's a bummer, but again, I hope you appreciate that I try to be very real about how I look at these things. Like, if I was going to buy it, I'd have to think about that myself. The other thing here is that also makes for a really good timeout bench when I talk back to my wife. But I would never do that again. I'm not. That's not true. I totally will. Pretty good spot for wastebasket, but because of where they put the floor heating vent, notice how they basically built a big box under the sink area right there where that heat duct comes through. So you're going to want to make sure that you have that thing secured before you just go throwing slop into it. Now, I try to be fair, and I've been a little critical of a couple things in this RV. I would think fairly and rightly so, but they've done a couple things here. They've done a lot of things actually on this that I also really like. Everything is an up and down adventure, you know. 10 cubic foot, 12 volt compressor fridge is nice, but the storage above the refrigerator and the storage above the microwave, I think they did great. Because a lot of manufacturers will use a single door that flips downward because it costs less, but they won't put any sort of strut on it. And it's really hard to reach way above your head sometimes and flip open a door that you can't reach to begin with. So they made the doors swing open. So now you don't have to constantly fight the doors. And personally, I thought that was really smart content. Now I'm about to open the pantry space, but remember, before you do that, you're gonna have to make sure that you close the little mini desk shelf thing. Now, a couple things. They put a really nice mechanism on this. The door like is several inches above the floor. So you don't, I can't foresee you're going to have to worry about the door scuffing the floor. Some of these big swinging pantry doors, you got to worry about that. The other thing is it actually has a foot locker. There's a lock at foot level that you push down with your foot and then pull the door open to unlatch it. So it's very secure. You know, I've seen some of these big, heavy swinging entertainment pantry doors be secured only by like one simple latch, and it just feels a little too flimsy to me. Ooh, notice how there's a nice big aggressive lip edge on the side of that. But notice the shelves don't actually go all the way to the wall. And I wonder if we might not be able to turn that from a case of chicken poop into chicken soup. And what I mean is I think that that could be a really good spot to hang like brooms or a Swiffer or a tall, long vertical thing.
Phrasing.
Depending on what you can get away with and what you enjoy doing, I could see somebody making a vertical fishing pole mount in there. So little things to think about, you know. Again, this is a theater love seat, so if you do want to individually kick back, you do have the opportunity to do so. But obviously, as you can see, the pantry door and the theater seat can overlap in the same way that the little folding desk and some of the other stuff can also kind of overlap. So you're always going to want to keep all that kind of in mind here. And apparently, I'm walking backwards upstairs, so I guess we're going to, oops, no. I was going to say we're going to look at the bathroom, but I forgot something I actually really like over here in the kitchen. I knew I would do that. They put a couple big drawers over here, so you're not losing anything. But the bottom one, they didn't make a drawer on the floor. Sounds like Dr. Seuss. They made it a clutter cutter shoe garage. That's really handy. It costs nothing. It's really handy. And as long as I'm right over here, look at the window in the entry door. You see how it's got a factory installed privacy shade. Again, considering this is one of their more basic, well, the most basic level of Keystone fifth wheel, that's a really nice feature to have factory included. Porcelain foot flush stool with plenty of legroom and everything. I found no general sizing problems in this. You notice how the shower pan's basically recessed into the floor. One of the cool things about that is it made for plenty of headroom for me. Being a little bit over 6 foot tall, I had plenty of space in there. I thought that was a really, really nice find. Now, generally speaking, the bathroom hardware in this is pretty straightforward. It's not like fancy luxury top level or anything like that, but it does what it needs to do. And by the way, this looks really weird. I've never had a problem with it, but the faucet on the side of the sink allows them to keep the sink pushed back a little bit. It doesn't bother me personally. Anytime I go to wash my hands in one, it works fine. But I think visually it really jars some people. And whenever I ask for feedback on that from actual owners, the vast majority of people say, yeah, I have a sink like that in my camper. It's fine. But again, I would ask actual owners, could you leave your feedback? You know, don't take my word for it. 60 by 80 true queen bed in this front bedroom right here. The other thing is, these are 50 amp service. This is second air prepped. And this vent up here would go away if you install a second air conditioner, but that's also why you see that little electrical power junction box right there. If you notice though, it's a small vent fan, but it is a dedicated bedroom fan. So if you didn't want a second air, but you wanted to upgrade the fan, the wiring's already there. It'll be very simple and easy to do. It's really interesting how they do their power solutions in the bedroom as well. Your left and right bedside stands, they are CPAP sized for those who use them, but they have inverter prepped home outlets, household outlets. In the middle of the headboard up here, they actually have a double USB plug. So, you know, you can have your phone charging in the middle of the night or something like that. So you still have some easy, good opportunities there. If you notice, you have like swing open, like sideways swinging cabinets here in the bedroom. You have, I didn't think about this. I need to get the bed lifted up and out of the way so you can see the storage down there. One of the downsides to not being scripted and doing everything off the cuff, I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta do that. But some nice storage under there, gas strutted, easy lift. What you haven't really seen though is really significant dresser space or hanging closet space. This RV doesn't have a closet slide out. Instead, it just has a big dresser and closet built right into it over here. Now, this isn't washer dryer prepped or anything like that. It's just dry storage. It's just clothes, socks and undies, you know, kind of stuff. But for the most part, it's going to get the job done pretty darn well. And what's happening here is you're getting the benefit of a closet wardrobe slide without the extra weight and cost of a closet slide. I gotta get the bed out of the way. Sorry about that. I'm just batting 1,000 over here today, really. You probably have guessed as much, but you do have TV hookups straight across from the bed right there, which in a bedroom I think is one of the better locations for it. Some bedrooms have TV hookups way off to the side. One little ditty here before we step outdoors, giving you a look at the road mode traveling axis. Basically, this one's lower deck is pretty much pinched off because of the interaction between the dinette and the countertop right there. Your bedroom and your bathroom are available. So it's not great for stopping to have a snack, but it's perfectly fine if you need to take a nap or take a crap. And I hate to sound like a broken record, but it might be somebody else's first time watching a video like this. Most of the people that would sell you this RV would say if you got a half ton, you're going to be okay. I'm not really one of those, because by the time you load cargo into this and bodies into your pickup, and you look at the hitch weight of this RV, it will exceed what most half-ton payload ratings are designed to handle. And airbags don't fix that. That's a common misunderstanding. People are like, oh, you put airbags on it, fixes everything. No, it doesn't. Airbags don't actually increase your payload rating. Airbags can force the RV back to level a little bit, which there's some benefits to that, mostly for ride handling and control, but it doesn't reduce the strain on your axles, your bearings, your brakes, your drive trains. Those are still being overworked potentially, so keep that in mind. But then there's some things like this. There's a couple really nice features on this that kind of surprised me, considering the budget level of this RV. Like the fact that you've got the nicer pin box, the gas struts to hold that front cargo compartment open. A lot of luxury fifth wheels don't even do those, and this is essentially Keystone's most basic fifth wheel level they even make right here. The slam latches on the front pass-through compartments, actually on all the exterior compartments, are also kind of nice finds here. The awning, you want it to be a little bit bigger. You want the awning to cover that rear baggage door, but there's not enough room between the baggage door, or behind the baggage door to be able to place the awning arm. So they did the best that they could, but overall, the awning space on this doesn't suck. The RV tip to tail is like 28 feet, 10 inches, 29 feet, basically. 29-foot fifth wheel. That ain't too bad. It's over here shaped like a sperm whale. If you look at, Garrett, my editor, can you please overlay a picture of a sperm whale over to this thing right now so that people know what I'm talking about, so they don't think I'm crazy? Once you see it, you can never unsee it, basically, guys. Nothing wrong with that. Mr. Krabs' daughter on SpongeBob SquarePants was a sperm whale, so there you go. Solid pass-through cavity on this, too. What I like is they actually still have a miniature enclosed docking station on the other side of the RV, but shifted off to the side so that it's not occupying the pass-through cavity space. It's actually a really nice touch. Now, one of the differences here from some of the other Arcadia members is that although it does still have the nicer pin box, it doesn't have a sort of fancy pants upgraded suspension package, so you're going to want to keep that in mind. We've got power front leveling jacks, power rear stabilizers, and people freak out about this, but for like the first 10 years of my career, auto leveling was just not something that was just really present in the RV industry. It's been around fifth wheels longer than trailers, certainly, but for the vast majority of the history of RVs, people got by without auto leveling just fine. Everything's still push button easy. It's just not one touch and walk away. So if that's a deal breaker, that's okay. That's why I went out of my way to kind of point that out, just to let you know things. She is prepped and ready for a telescopic removable ladder that is not included from the factory. That's one of the cost vector differences here. But another one of the surprisingly nice features that is included is the 3,000-pound towing package, for lack of a better way to say it. You actually have a full rear receiver and towing hitch with safety chain hooks and four-way wiring harness on here. So if you want to, add bike racks or a cargo tray, or you want to tow a small flat bottom boat with you or something like that, this is all set and ready to be able to do that, which is actually kind of cool. Now you might notice there's actually a couple different types of windows in play here. Some are frameless, some are framed out. They don't like to use frameless windows on the slide side because the frameless windows, like on the left side of the screen, tilt open for airflow. And if you weren't paying attention, if you have that tilted out and then you open to close the slide, you're gonna bust it. And that's what the Beastie Boys like to do. They bust it right before they advise you of your obligation to fight for your right to party. By the way, fun musical fact, did you know that Dee Snider, the lead singer of Twisted Sister, We're Not Gonna Take It, you know that he literally fought for our rights to party? That's no joke. He went in full stage wig and makeup and everything and spoke in front of the Supreme Court to basically help keep music uncensored, essentially. Dee Snider fought for our right to party. Dude, that's just awesome. You know, back to the RV. I don't know how many of you tune in for musical trivia, but there's probably better channels for that. It is a single sewer outlet back, by the way. Now, something I didn't point out because I was too busy just yammering on was in the back of the RV, there actually is a sewer hose tube so that you don't have to have all that sewer stuff mixed in with all your camping stuff. Now, this is one of the few products in the fifth wheel lineup from Keystone that does not have expanded solar options. This is a 220 watt panel on the roof. It is lifted higher than most solar panels are so that it maintains better breathing and better efficiency, but it has a 30 amp Victron MPPT charge controller. If you know stuff about solar, you already know what that means. If you don't, to put it in very basic terms, they factory standardize a more effective solar package on this than most anybody, really. So to you, this is just one video today. To me, I've been busy, and there's about 7 RVs in front of me that you can't even see in the background right now. So I'm cooked. I'm gonna head home. You can check the links in the video description, whether you're curious or whether you're serious, for pricing and availability. And again, similar model. What I'll try to do, if I remember, I will try to make a list of 4 or 5 different fifth wheels under 30 feet for you to check out down in the video description with links to those videos to make this easier for you. So if you're like, I like this size, but I don't know if that layout's for me, maybe be able to shop the next one without ever having to put on pants. Nothing wrong with that. Just take care. Stay safe. I'm tired. Have fun. Happy camping, everyone.